Whisper Podcast. Oh, sorry. Whisper Podcasts may contain content that may be sensitive for some listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
That's better.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Whisper Podcast. I'm your host, Zach Tyler. Pronouns are they, them.
And I'm your host, Dylan Gomez. My pronouns are also they, them.
We have an amazing episode for you today, but before we jump on in, we want to address the elephant in the room.
Yes, we know we haven't uploaded in quite some time, but we are back with some adjustments.
The adjustments being that we will only be doing Urks and Perks for the time being and resuming our art and true crime segments hopefully soon.
So we almost let Whisper temporarily go due to our busy lives. I suggested to Zach that we should keep up with our Urks and Perks until we can manage to commit ourselves to art and true crime segments.
Which I thought was an amazing suggestion, given the feedback of our fans. When I started working full-time again, finding the time to fully give myself to true crime research just wasn't obtainable. And I would hate to pull a story out of my ass and not give them the research that they deserve.
So I have been working quite a bit and trying to catch up with school, and it was just too much, but we love doing this. We love sitting down in front of the mics and talking about important subjects. So we're like, okay, let's just keep it going, even if it's once a month. She's still gonna be alive. We're still here. We're just little busy bees. But we'll come at you.
Still here, still queer, taking care of it, handling our shit, and just thank you so much for sharing, Dylan. With that being said, welcome to our third Urks and Perks episode, and let me just say, wow, Dylan, I have some news stories for you. But before we jump into, some awful news, let's go ahead and talk about the most awful news that we heard in January, which was the Capitol was attacked by domestic terrorists. What the fuck was that?
Yeah. It was honestly something completely unnecessary, and it made the divide in our country even more deep, which is not that it wasn't there. There's been a divide in this country in every fucking major issue, right? But, I mean, that was just hard to see. So. It was just hard to see. It was.
And, you know, I definitely think that a lot of people, this kind of ties into the whole attack on the Capitol. But I think that a lot of people are like, oh, now because Biden's in office, people think that their problems are going to, magically be solved. And I don't think, that's the case at all.
Not necessarily. I do think that he's coming in with some different ideas that are better, but we have to keep our politicians accountable 100%. Make sure that that they are gonna come forward with their ideas that they promised, and they're gonna actually try to execute them. So
exactly.
Yeah, I hate to talk about it, but I mean, we have to.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because it was one of the biggest things that happened this month. It was embarrassing.
Embarrassing, yes.
To say the absolute least is definitely embarrassing, but so I made it my thing that I was gonna start watching news from every different source, right? Even conservative media, so you guys would not have to.
Yes. And
I'm not lying to you, I feel like my brain cells shrunk. Yeah. So there you go. And it's worse than you would expect.
Yeah.
It's worse than you would expect, for sure.
And with that being said, I think that let's just remember, like Dylan said, this is a stepping stone for us to finally have a politician who's hopefully willing to listen to us. It seems like him and Kamala are willing to listen. Now it's just a matter of us holding them accountable and continuing to use our voices. Because remember, like we've said in so many episodes before, we are the ones that make the difference. So let's just continue to make that difference, and let's continue to fight, because we deserve rights. Everybody deserves rights. And I'm just excited. Okay, well, I'm not excited to jump on in, because these stories are actually pretty hard and harsh. Obviously,
mine are not that. Mine, I saw yours and I was like, oh, honey.
Yeah, they're heavy.
I was like, I'm gonna hit you with some positive news.
Some used condoms.
No, nothing like that today. But I do have some activism that's badass. I have, some new policies that we need to incorporate in our life. So, yeah. Do you want to go ahead and start us off?
Yeah, let's jump on in. So, our first topic that we're going to be discussing today is that 5 people, including a pregnant woman, were killed in Indianapolis. It's the largest mass casualty shooting in more than a decade. This is a story from CNN by Elizabeth Joseph and Ala Alazar. 5 people and an unborn child were killed Sunday after an early morning shooting in Indianapolis Northeast Side. Police said an incident the mayor called a mass murder. A juvenile was also in critical condition after being shot in the incident, which marks Indianapolis the largest mass casualty shooting in more than a decade. Apparently, it's just not very common over there. So, for this to be, a mass casualty shooting is, a lot. But anyways, that was according to Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Chief Randall Taylor. IMPD police officers responded to a report of a person shot just before 4 a.m. Upon arrival, police came across a juvenile male with apparent gunshot wounds, IMPD spokesman Shane Foley told reporters. Officers then received information that led them to another residence less than a block away, where they found 5 people, including a pregnant woman, dead with apparent gunshot wounds, Foley said. Quote, despite the best life-saving efforts provided by medical staff, both the female and the unborn child did not survive, he added. End quote. Quote, the juvenile male that was shot is expected to survive his injuries. Marion County Chief Deputy Coroner Alpharena McGitney identified the victims as Kezzy Childs, 42, Raymond Childs, 42, Eliza Childs, 18, Rita Childs, 13, Kiara Hawkins, 19, and Hawkins' baby. While IMPD investigation is in its early stages, Foley said the multiple shootings does not appear to be a random act. As of Sunday afternoon, police said that they did not have any named suspects related to the shootings, but that they believe more than one shooter could have been involved. Quote, this morning, one or more individuals perpetrated an act of evil in our city, end quote. Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett told reporters. Quote, while we're still learning more about the circumstances that led to this incident, I want to be very clear about something. What happened this morning was not an act of simple gun violence. What happened this morning was a mass murder, end quote. Hoggett said he is in contact with the United States Attorney Office for Southern District of Indiana and the Indianapolis Field Office of the FBI. Quote, federal law enforcements are coming for them as I speak, coming for them today, coming for them tonight, coming for them tomorrow and the day after that, coming for them as long as it takes to find them, end quote, Hogsett added. So, first of all, it's just what is with this mass murder? Who ended up killing all these people? And it's just what strikes somebody to want to kill, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people, and including a baby, making that 7 people?
That's what's crazy to me, what stands out to me is the fact that he killed all these different people. Do you know what I mean? Usually when murders, they have their favorite, they'll kill a young girl or something, or
there's an MO.
Yeah, or they want I don't know, somebody with red hair, something random like that. But it kind of seems like he's going for all age range, all different kinds of people.
Yeah.
So that's scary. You don't even know who's the next target.
Exactly. So it's I can't imagine that it's going to be easy for the police department to find exactly who murdered this, because typically when you're following a case, what they identify is an MO, so what was this person's derogative behind shooting these people? But it's okay, this guy just killed a whole family of people, so it's what is his MO? Is it family mass murders? What is it?
That's scary.
Yeah.
Family mass murder, you're lying. That's so terrifying.
So,
well, I hope they catch this guy fast.
Yeah. Before something else happens. And especially, for crimes not to happen in that area at all, hardly ever. Not at all, but, hardly ever. It's what drove this person to do that? Again, why I'm so interested in criminal psychology. But that's just an unfortunate event, and we obviously send our thoughts and hearts and condolences out to the family.
Of course.
And I just hope that they get justice with, what they need. So my next story that I have to tell is kind of disheartening, because it just makes me feel the Black Lives Matter movement and what happened to George Floyd didn't even happen.
I think, okay, all right, it happened, but I mean, obviously we have a lot of work to do, but okay, I think we should jump off each other because mine are not that bad, and then yours are obviously very heavy, so I think I should go next. And then you can go after that and make everyone cry.
Wait, but I think yours could be like a palate cleanser. It's like give everybody like the hard stuff first and then like have you as like a palate cleanser. Everybody, welcome to the show, Dylan, our palate cleanser. I'm the over-salted dish.
Yes, okay, all right. I'm here for it.
So, yeah. Body cam video. Go.
No, okay. You said body cam video and I was like,
oh god, yeah.
What happened?
Body cam video shows police officers' fatal shooting of a black man during a mental health check. Which, by the way, I don't know if somebody contacted the police department to like send out a mental health check or like if the police just wanted to do it in general. I doubt that. Mm-hmm. But it's just like, obviously this person needed their mental health checked on, and that's why, you know, you were sent over there to do so. And instead of fucking doing a mental health check, there's a fatal shooting. So I just wanted to say that piece before we read the story. This story comes also from CNN by Ashley Killow and Melissa Alonso. The police chief in Killeen, Texas, is defending an officer who shot and killed a black man during a mental health check earlier this month. Officer Ronaldo Contreras arrived at the home of Patrick Warren on January 10th after Warren's family called for psychiatric help. The police department said in a statement that upon the officer's arrival, Warren was emotionally distressed and newly released body cam footage shows the tense moments that led to Contreras firing his weapon at Warren 3 times.
3 times?
Which is overkill,
yeah.
First of all. In the video, Contreras can be seen letting himself into the home after he is told by someone inside to come on in. Contreras quickly exits after Warren begins to yell and advance towards him. Warren can be seen outside a residence, advancing toward the officer in the front yard and ignoring verbal commands for him to lie down. After the officer steps backwards and continues to issue warnings like, "You're gonna get tased," he uses his taser. Warren initially falls down, but then stands back up and continues to push toward the officer. Contreras uses the taser gun, but Warren keeps advancing and Contreras deploys his firearm. Warren, who is 52, was transported to a hospital and succumbed to his injuries. Family lawyer calls it one of the worst officer-involved shootings I've ever seen. The family's lawyer, Lee Merritt, has called for the officer to be fired. Quote, "This is one of the worst officer-involved shootings that I've seen," end quote, Merritt told reporters earlier this week after the body cam footage was released, according to KWTX.
Well, like, seriously, how was he not going to succumb to his injuries? He was shot 3 times and then tased. So...
Literally.
Like, yeah, this is awful. The hell? Sorry, go ahead.
Merritt did not return calls from CNN Thursday and Friday after the footage was released. Contreras, a 5-year veteran of the department, is on administrative leave, according to the Killeen Police Department. An investigation is underway by the Texas Rangers, according to the Texas Department of Public Safety. Bell County District Attorney Henry Garza directed all inquiries to the Texas Rangers. Police Chief Charles Kimball said this week that Contreras did everything he could to use non-lethal force against Warren before he deployed his firearm. Quote, "I don't see where he could have done anything else. I saw an officer trying to handle a call, de-escalate a call," Kimball told reporters on Tuesday. "Given the same set of circumstances, I just don't know what else we could do," he added, end quote. Kimball and Contreras had more than the minimum amount of mandated training, but he said that the police department was looking at ways to better address psychiatric calls. On Saturday, January 9th, one day before the shooting, the county sent a mental health deputy to Warren's house. Merritt previously told CNN that the meeting with the county deputy went well. Warren voluntarily went with that